I wanted to talk real quick about the Howl for Wildlife because I know that is what you and I have discussed. I think it's just an awesome deal. So, if you don't mind, kind of talking a little bit about maybe the history or the roots of it, that what you're aware of, and
Yeah, I'll give you the 5 cent tour for how it started. Uh, Charles actually had called me up last year. I don't remember if it was February. I believe it was February of last year. It might have been January. And there was a bill proposed in California to ban bear hunting. And it was just full of holes. It was a crappy bill. Made no sense. And he's like, what do you think we can do? I'm like, well, we've had success before. Myself, I've had success before with doing petitions. Or we can do like a change.org or something like that. Let's do something like that for it. We know a lot of people between the two of us. We'll just push it out, like get it out as far as we can. So we did that. And Charles actually physically started the petition, and we pushed it out to everybody we knew. I was sending out emails. I was putting it on Instagram and Facebook, and just kind of really like pushing it out there and utilizing all the tools that we had to us to reach people. And we got a ridiculous amount of signatures, like 26,000 signatures or 28,000. I don't even remember now. Signatures in 5 days.
oh wow,
In 5 days.
wow,
And there was like $18,000 that was donated
wow.
on that petition. Now, when you donate to change on those change.org, you're just giving money to change.org. It's not like it's coming to the person who
Oh,
started the petition to use it for whatever the petition is. It literally just goes to change.org. So change.org continues to push it out and promote it to more people. So it helps. It helps, it helps
it
the
does.
petition.
Okay.
It helps the petition out, but change.org is a for-profit company, and they're really not your friend.
They said thank you for your donation.
Anyway, within 5 days, the sponsoring senator dropped the bill, and we
Oh,
literally knocked it out in 5 days. It was amazing.
nice.
So we're like, wow, there's something to this. And there was two other bills, and I can't for the life of me remember. I've told the story so many times. I think I should go back and figure out the exact details. But there was a hound hunting bill, and then there was like a trapping bill. I believe one was in New Mexico, and I feel the other one's either Nevada or Montana. Either way, we did the same thing with that, and we had success with those two.
Hmm.
We're like, shit, there's something to this, right? Why isn't this out there now? Why do we not have this type of advocacy platform to, help the hunter? Excuse me, help the hunter have a voice. And I'm like, we need to start a change.org for hunters, because between these three bills, there was like 20 some odd $1,000 donated to given to change.org. Like, one, we could be using this money to do the things that we need to do, right?
Yeah,
And two, we need to have a platform that there's so many anti-hunting. They're it's a pretty leftist company, right? And not
yeah.
that political party really shouldn't have anything really to do with wildlife management, but for the most part, you don't see very many conservatives that are anti-hunting.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I bring it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're not our friends. That money's not going anywhere. We need to do something. So we started talking about, actually, Charles came up with the name Howl For Wildlife. He actually kind of envisioned, he's like, you know what? We need to make this like what JSOC is,
Yeah.
for the military community. We need to have Jayhawk, Joint Hunters Operations Control, whatever. And we we started going down that road originally with that idea. And I I started developing with, because I've done several websites before. I started developing with some guys that I knew, a change.org style platform. And Charles comes up with Howl For Wildlife as a name, because Howl actually stands for, hunters, operations. Like, it actually fits the same deal.
Yeah.
And the other reason behind it was because using the wolf, how you hear about green decoys, right? We're like,
Yeah.
we need to do this too, because we saw that in the petition, that people who are anti-hunting were signing the petition because of the way we worded it. We're saving wildlife, which is true. We are,
Well, that's true.
wildlife, right? What we do, the conservation efforts we save wildlife. And we're like, we need to kind of keep this going. And besides, anti-hunting groups have already co-opted the word conservation. They stole it from us.
Yeah.
And they've already, co-opted the wolf that's like their number one polarizing, icon right there.
Save the wolf.
Exactly. So we're like, yeah, this makes complete sense. Let's roll with that. So anyway, I started working on the website, and it sucked. It sucked. It was terrible. So Charles is like, I'm going to give it a crack. And he started actually doing a bunch of research and calling all these, third-party platforms that offered, different stuff. And, one thing led to another, and we developed the site. And I say we, but a lot of it was on Charles. Most of it was on Charles, as far as the site being what it is today. And so, like, I credit myself with the one of the original ideas of it, but when it actually development of it was mostly Charles. Anyway, so we start going down this road, and the site gets built, and it's all ready to go from a technological standpoint. Like, technology all worked, the system worked right, but we never had the inner workings of how we were going to actually work the business side of it, right? We didn't know, are we going to be for profit, not for profit? We're going to, have a board? Are we going to, what are we going to do? We didn't have any of that. And anyway, so comes this bill in Arizona, or wasn't even a bill yet. It was an initiative, we'll call it, right? It wasn't even a formal petition. They're trying to get rid of lion and bear hunting in Arizona.
Completely, right?
Completely.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, I'm like, Charles, is this thing ready to go? Let's give it a whirl. Let's try it. Let's see, let's push it out and see what happens. So we launched it on January 6th with that first action, which was the Arizona line. And it worked famously, right? Everything worked. We jumped from 0 members, not having anything, to, like, I don't know, 10,000 in a matter of like 2 weeks, not even. We started looking into all these other bills. We're like, all right, well, it's working. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Right. This is what we put this thing together for, is where all the money was spent for. And we started getting involved in all these other bills. And, before the first month, we had 20,000 members, or 18, 19, something like that. And we were winning. We were winning stuff, right? We were getting stuff knocked out.
Not just in Arizona, other states. And
Yeah. Wow.
which that's what I really want people, why I was so excited about having you talk about this, is because whether you're in Massachusetts, California, Arizona, or Idaho, I mean, we're all working together yeah. So
Yeah. Now, I had mentioned on our previous podcast, or when we started off the podcast, I should say, in the previous episode, is I said I was telling you about there's bills in Long Island. So I'm working on bills in Long Island right now. Like there's so many anti-hunting and fishing bills that pop up throughout the year, and we're not going to be able to do them all. There's at least not now, not with the manpower. I mean, for the most part, it's Charles and I, and we have some really good volunteers, and we have a couple of people working out with us, here and there, but contract employees and whatnot. But like, it's not. we're not Mule Deer Foundation, right? We don't have this big thing going on, and funding's an issue, right? It's self-funded. It's just Charles and I, and we have donations. People donating money. There's stuff going on. We got some really cool stuff coming up, actually. Go Hunt has partnered with us, and
Oh, great.
it's kind of a neat deal, because if you want to have a Go Hunt Insider membership, it'll cost you $149 a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can come and get that same membership through Howl For Wildlife. Okay. And you get all the benefits that you would normally have if you went to Go Hunt. A portion of that money comes to Howl For Wildlife.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So now it's tax deductible. A portion of your membership is tax deductible.
Oh, great.
And you get all the benefits of the Howl For Wildlife membership. So you're going to save 20% or better with all our partners. You're going to get entered into our monthly giveaways for, gear. We gave away, packs and custom made knives and trips and whatever. And you get entered into a draw for the hunt giveaway we're doing for that year.
Oh, nice.
So like,
well worth it.
And we're constantly adding value to whatever the membership is. So we're going to have several different membership levels that are associated with something that you'd want, hunting fool, or so we have another one we have is with Go Hunt also for their Explorer, which is their mapping software.
Oh.
If you want to go purchase this thing, we're working on other avenues, and I just threw out some names, and that those don't necessarily aren't what we're doing, because I haven't secured those yet, and we haven't got those in place yet. But the Go Hunt one is in place, and it will be going live here pretty soon.
Nice.
We're just waiting for the technology to be built in, and then it's ready to go. But we hope to do this with other companies where, let's say you want a membership with, company X, that membership will be available to be purchased as a Howl membership. You'll get that membership, and then you'll get all the stuff that goes in it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So
I foresee that being kind of exploding as the word gets out. I mean, look where, you're basically, this is the ground floor. It's not very old. So, I mean, you've got so much potential.
Yeah, we're at 30,000 members now.
Nice.
And we 5 months in, right? It's pretty crazy. We hope to have, and with that, so we didn't really talk about what Howl does, but so Howl For Wildlife, for those who are just listening to this that don't know what it is, we're an advocacy platform. It's a kind of a two-sided deal. We have an action center, and when there is a bill that comes up that is anti-wildlife management, anti-hunting, anti-fishing, we're going to get involved in it. And we provided the easy button is what we've done. So in the past, if let's say this bill in Arizona came up, what other organizations would do would be like, okay, this is here. I'm letting you know with it that this bill is up and it's a threat. Go contact your legislator. Okay. How many people are just like, oh, I'm going to go take the time and figure out what my legislator is. Oh,
That's usually how it goes, though.
I need to say to this guy? Or there was a canned email. Okay, neither one of those was effective, but what we were doing was very effective. So now we have tools. So again, I'll use the Arizona as you come to the site, you click on the action center, you became a member. Either we have free membership too, so you could be just a free member, and there's there's some benefits to becoming a free member, but the majority of the benefits come with paid membership. But you can still take action. We didn't want to alienate anybody who didn't want to become a paid membership. We still want people to be involved. We still want people to be activists. Okay, I know
Voices heard.
That's a dirty word because it's usually associated with the opposition, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is we need to be activists as hunters, right? So you can come to the site, you can take action. Now you go to the action center, and depending on the action and who the decision makers are, that's the other thing. So like we've taken not only the guesswork out of it, we are targeting the exact person who needs to hear your voice, whether that's at the commission level, whether that's a Senate level, so on and so forth. So you go there, you take action by basically putting your name and your email address in there and hitting send. And now it's going to send a email, or you can make a phone call. There's other options again, depending on the action. We have options in there for you to get a hold of that person who's making the decisions. It sends an email. Now those emails, it's not the same email, and the email doesn't come as a candy email. It doesn't come from Howl For Wildlife. It comes from you directly.
Oh.
And that's the major difference of what these other organizations were doing. They do that as a way to capture your email, and they do that as a way to
Gotcha.
boast how many people they have as active members.
Because I do remember when you've talked about Howl in the past, is that you said that you're not going to be getting a whole bunch of advertising emails, which you will off of those other deals.
Would say, I'm opposing this bill, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And it gives you all the talking points, but like, oh, I want to add this to it, or I want to do this to it. So it makes it even that more effective.
Yeah.
And so the other side of the coin is, and people were asking this in the beginning, oh, what are you planning on doing with the money? And da 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 da. We were using, obviously we're using the money to run the platform too. Like, there's a substantial cost associated with that. But we are taking that money, and we have an education program. It'll be up on the howlforwildlife.org site here soon, where it's going to help us hunters and non-hunters understand what the North American model of conservation is, what we do, how we fit into the puzzle. It's gonna talk a lot about the myths and the misconceptions beyond, with hunting and so on, so forth. And it's gonna give us hunters the, for lack of better terminology, the ammunition that we need, the knowledge that we need, so that when we are talking to somebody who is a non-hunter, we can give them the right stuff. The worst thing we can do is to be out there spewing out just emotion and getting aggravated and being heated, and possibly converting somebody who really didn't have an opinion on hunting. If they were presented with the right stuff, they might be able to be swayed either way. You turn them into a pro anti-hunting person, right?
Yeah.
The reason why we're doing this is because the anti-hunting community has a pact, and they have a lot of money. I mean, millions and millions of dollars set aside to basically educate with propaganda. I say educate, but really it's share lies with the non-hunting public in areas that are easily affected. Like, for instance, like in Denver right now, there's a strong possibility, even though we just beat that bill or we stopped that bill from being proposed as an actual bill for lion and bear hunting and bobcat hunting, that in November that it might actually show up on the ballot. And if it goes on the ballot, they have the money in place right now to put out propaganda to the in mainstream media and be able to effectively change minds about hunting with emotion and with conjecture and false
Narratives.
statistics and so on and so forth, that we would lose.
You know what? I don't.
Colorado would lose lion, bear hunting, and bobcat hunting.
Wow. I I think a lot of times people don't realize, you have your non-hunting percentage, you have your pro hunting percentage, but the majority of the percentage that's left is in the middle is actually by far it's the largest group that they're not pro hunting, they're not anti hunting, and those are the ones that we need to win over, for lack of better words. And so how we conduct ourselves, in public. You remember years ago when, the old thing where people would display their kills and drive through town, that type of thing, to somebody who's on the fence is going to leave a bad taste. Where those are the ones that a lot of times I don't think people realize, because it is the majority of the group, that's what's going to help pass bills or not.
Exactly.
So how we conduct ourselves is a big thing.
So like I was saying with our education program, right now we have it set up that hopefully we'll be able to start driving non-hunters to it and hunters alike. Because I want us hunters and anglers to be educated on everything. One of the messages we've been pushing out for a long time is we want unity amongst the hunters. We want people who are in, we talked about this a little bit earlier, in Arizona to give a crap about somebody in Massachusetts. We want the guy in Florida to care about the guy in California.
Yeah.
Whether it's their style of hunting, whether it's their cup of tea, whether you're a bow hunter, you're a rifle hunter, you're an elk hunter, you're a bear hunter, it doesn't matter. Like, we all want everybody to be together, right? So that's one message. But the second message is we want us to be able to all be educated and understand what it is, what our role is, hunters, anglers, what our role is in conservation and what conservation is. And that way you're having a conversation with Joe Smith at work at the water cooler. He doesn't hunt. You can talk to him about, put it in the conversation somehow, some way, work it in there. This is what conservation is. This is where we fit in. And then you can add your emotion to it. This is what it means to me. My family's been doing this for 3 generations, 4 generations, whatever the case may be. We love the meat. We love this. We love that. And we will be able to start effectively getting the message out there, because right now we don't have that money that they have. We don't have that pact. We're working on it. That's a goal of ours, but it's a lofty goal. Right now we're 2 guys on a computer. Like, that's, to try to have this massive collaboration between all the organizations. And listen, there's a lot of competition too, because people are competing for membership base. They're competing.
Yeah. I was just going to say that it's kind of sad, because you have different organizations and they're all about their organization, and they don't realize we need to join together, because it affects elk hunters just as much as it affects deer hunters, lion hunters, bear hunters, and everything. Where Howl For Wildlife is doing that, is collaborating everybody. You're trying, but
there's 16 million hunters, just hunters, in North America. Actually, I think that might just be in the US. Might be North America, might be the US. Either way, I think Canada has like 2 million and Mexico has maybe, a few 100,000, but, so the lion's share is here in the United States, but the 16 million, if there were 16 million of us on Howl For Wildlife, every time a bill came up and we voiced our opinion, boom, that senator got blasted with 16 million, right? Even
Yeah.
10% of that, 1.6 million,
Yeah.
right? Got 1.6 million emails that said, hey, we oppose this. We are not for this. This is not sound management. This is not smart. You're going to hurt wildlife. That you would be surprised how quickly that senator or that congressman, whatever, or that person, they will back away from that bill like it's a hot potato, because it's politics, and politics is always what's going to make me look the best, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And the other side of that is, let's say again 16 million. If 16 million of us donated $10 a year, like what the hell's $10? You could go to freaking McDonald's. Used to, you could get something for 99. Now you can't even do that. You can't even go to McDonald's.
It's true. Not when they're paying $15 an hour for a job because they can't find help.
Come be a pool guy for me. You make $70,000 a year, freaking salary. Swear to God, ridiculous. That's a whole nother story. But if 10 of us, or $10 from 16 million of us, we would have the ability to pump out commercials and put up billboards in any market. If something was to come up on the bill and make an actual ballot, where we would be I'm not saying that we would win every single one of them, because that's all, change minds, but we would be almost unstoppable. We'd be almost unstoppable. They
Very effective.
wouldn't have an answer to it.
Yeah.
Because once the education is out there, once the masses know, that other 80% of the population that doesn't hunt and fish, once they know what is the truth, it'd be very hard for them to see, save the Hughes platform, which is, let me pump out a bunch of propaganda and tug on your heartstrings.
The music.
So you give us money and you go against hunting and, whatever.
I always do laugh at the music that usually starts those commercials.
If you go on my YouTube, there's a parody on there.
Is there?
Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's called Hughes. I think the title is called Hughes is a Fraud. And that parody it's 100% real, true, but it's hilarious. But it's the same, it's this super sad music, and it's all these lawyers in cages. Like they show the dogs in cages.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. You got to watch it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
But listen, we have really lofty goals. We want to unify all the hunters and anglers in the United States. So if you add anglers in there,
yeah, absolutely,
it's like 70 million. Yeah. You go from 16 to 70. Like, wow, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think that is why the anti-hunting, I'll call them community, whatever, just to lump them together. I think that's why they don't go after fishing. That much. They definitely go after commercial fishing a lot.
Yeah.
And the commercial fishing, some of it's hard to defend. Some of it is.
Yeah.
Because there's some opposing science that they can use that we can't
compete with it. Yeah.
But so that aside, the stopping fishing in ponds and this and that, like those things, easy, very easy, but for us to defend and very easy for us to get behind and so on and so forth. That's why I don't think they attack it quite as much. It comes up, and when it comes up, I think we win them pretty easy because the numbers are there. We outnumber them by a lot.
Yeah.
So anti-hunting and hunting are about the same. Actually, I think hunting is outnumbers anti-hunting by like 1% of the population. The last I looked. So anyhow, if we were all unified, right? We got everybody on the same page. We're a community, regardless of how we do it, what we do it. If we were all educated, we all understood the inner workings of hunting and conservation and what our role is, right?
Yeah.
As sportsmen and anglers.
Never lose ground again. And matter of fact, I bet we would be able to start putting back some of these things that we lost.
Yeah.
I mean,
and all it takes, you know, is one little tiny, not even a foot in the door for them, a toe.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they get the next toe. And then before long, they have their foot in the door and they just slowly, their goal isn't to wipe it all out at once. It's just to pick at it little by little.
well, you know why it's their goal is not to wipe it all at once. And then they wouldn't have a business.
That's true. A non-profit business, as they call it.
Billions of dollars. Like, listen, the more I get into this, the more I'm disgusted by the whole situation. Like,
It's a money thing for them.
it's a money thing for everybody.
Yeah.
Really, it is. And I don't want to be like, I definitely don't want to throw any of our organizations underneath the bus, but there's a money thing there.
Oh yeah, there is. There is.
There's a money thing there too. I think they do a lot of great work. I think, you know, the habitat development, putting animals back on the mountain,
Yeah.
that's all amazing stuff.
But it went from the majority of the money going to that to just a minuscule amount of money going to that now. I mean, is it compared to what it used to be? You know?
I think a lot, and again, I definitely don't want to throw things underneath the bus. Now, it's a lot more blatant on the anti-hunting side, and it's a lot more egregious on that side, in my opinion. But on speaking for the hunting world, and I'm not going to speak for other organizations, but I think a lot of that has to do with the cost of acquisition. And what I mean by that is, I mean, if your membership is $39 a year, it costs you $30 to acquire one member. Like you spend $30 a year to acquire one member.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that sucks. Like that's a big chunk, right? So you're dealing with 10% of whatever's coming in. You know, that's why they're constantly doing fundraisers and this and that. And, you know, that's why where all this other stuff is. So, how do you change that? You change that by getting the hunting community to understand that we need to be activists, we need to be involved, and the only reason why we're still around is because of money. It's always about money. And when it comes to money and politics, right? And what drives politics? Money. So it's like the reason why hunting hasn't been abolished, because it would be so easy. It would be easier if I was a politician and I had a magic wand and I said I could do away with hunting. And when I do away with hunting, I provided a different revenue stream to support the conservation model, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I was able to do that, they would do it in a heartbeat. But the thing is, they haven't had a revenue stream. They don't have a plan in place to replace us.
Yeah.
From a funding source. Okay. They're trying. There's been bills, and I don't remember which one it is, but there's a big bill out there right now that provides a bunch of funding for conservation. And I've told people, I'm like, you need to be weary of this. Okay. It sounds good on paper. And I got to go look and see which one it is. I think it might be the Great Outdoors Act or one of those. I can't remember exactly whatever it is, but what it's doing is it's taking taxpayer money, everybody, not just the hunting community, and it's taking a portion of that money and putting it into conservation. That sounds great. Like, oh, cool. Finally, they're finally going to help us, you know, put money into wildlife management and conservation and so on and so forth. But think about that. Now, your $10 million or whatever the yearly fund is from that, less relevant.
Hmm.
People don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. I look at it that way. It might be the Brooklyn in me. I don't know. You're guilty until proven innocent. But like that is a, you know, that is some of the things that they're trying to do. They're trying to put these like really subtle things out there that seemingly in face value look great. Like they're doing it. There's a bill in California about hog hunting. And from a hunter standpoint, you look at it, you're like, oh, cool. I don't have to buy a separate tag now. It's just part of my license. I'm going to save myself money. Awesome. Okay. Well, now all those tag sales, they go away.
Oh,
And there's less money for Fish and Game.
yeah.
Okay. Does it really hurt you that much to spend $20, whatever it is, to buy a tag? No. I mean, if you love it enough, right?
Yeah.
I spent a stupid amount of money on hunting here. Ridiculous. Like if I didn't do it, I would probably be able to retire, I don't know, 5 or 6 years earlier. Easy. But like you gotta understand that stuff. That stuff is very, very, very important for us to be mindful of.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, but
Oh, awesome. How's the best way to get a hold of Howl for Wildlife? I'll let you talk about the.
sure. If you go to howlforwildlife.org.
And it's HOWL.
Just
Yep,
like
HOWL. Just like a wolf howling. If you want, you become a free member. We encourage you at least to become a free member. And like I said, we will have some paid membership available here, hopefully within the next month. The technology, we had planned on having it ready to go already, but the technology we couldn't get it to sync up with Go Hunt for that particular project. But we should have that up and going here soon. And once that falls into place, you can go follow Howl on Instagram. It's just Howl_org. That way, you can see some of the stuff we're doing, see some of the actions that are coming up and staying involved with that.
And your YouTube channel so they can watch some of your cool videos and just.
Yeah, that's all my stuff personally. I'm not really in this right now to self-promote, but like, yeah, if you want to follow me, it's just John Stallone.
I watch him. It's funny how, I put in for sheep this year and I'm going to draw, just so you know. In fact, I went fishing game today. I stopped by there and I go, hey, I just want to thank you guys for the sheep tag you're going to give me this year. They laughed as much as I did. But anyway, so I just I Googled or got on YouTube, and first one that showed up, honestly, was yours.
Was it?
Your Arizona. Yeah. So I had watched it already, but I've watched a bunch of your videos, but I watched it again, your Ibex. And I watched that a bunch of times too, because I put in for Ibex, and, Yeah. So nice. I really appreciate your time, John, and your stories, and you're a great dude, and look forward to maybe getting a chance to do some hunting sometime with you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We've been talking about it for years. I mean, we know each other now for probably going on 10, right? Or pretty close.
Yeah.
Probably close to that. Yeah. So thanks for your time. Appreciate it, and be safe out there. And we'll be in touch, on what you end up with tags and stuff. I know we talk enough.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely hook up with you from coming to Idaho.
Sounds good. All right, buddy.
All right, take it easy.
Talk to you.
All right, bye-bye.